Hello, everybody. I am Leslie, and welcome back to the Queen's Talk. So let's go ahead and get started with tonight's conversation on the podcast. The Queen's Talk, where we honor and celebrate women on their self love journey, where we share our stories about how we overcame past trauma and where we are now. Welcome to the Queen's Talk, Queens. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. How was your day?
It was okay. A little tiring looking at the computer screen, but it's over now, and now we're here.
Yes, yes, thank you for coming tonight. And your makeup looks so pretty. So
Oh, thank
we're gonna
you.
get into your makeup and your self care routine and all that good
Uh,
stuff. So tonight we have Endo. She is becoming a social media influencer, maybe along the way, but she shares her self care line and her self care products she does on a daily basis, and a little vlogging here and there on TikTok and on Instagram. Right? Are you in any other platforms?
I'm on both, just TikTok and Instagram, mainly Instagram.
Okay. So go ahead and introduce yourself and tell everybody what's your name and where you're from.
Okay, well, everyone, my real name is India, but people call me Indo, and that's what I'm known for on TikTok and Instagram. And I pretty much just create content, lifestyle content, documenting my different life experiences, my solo outings, um, letting people know about like my different self care that I do, showing people my shortcut, getting into the makeup and skincare,
Yes.
so kind of just like all the things that the girls like, but making it relatable in a sense.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So another reason why I wanted to reach out to you too is because one, I did the big chop 3 years ago. I cut off all my locks, and I like your skin tone and your haircut. So what made you do this? Because I'm all about embracing who you are, no matter if you have hair or not. So what made you do this big chop and embrace and love yourself for who you are?
So I first cut my hair back in 2013, like right after I graduated high school, and
Hmm.
in like a summer program for Norfolk State, and we couldn't leave off campus or anything, so I didn't have anything to do with my hair. So one of my friends in the program, she cut it off. So it was in like a little mini fro. And
Okay.
then literally the day before I was supposed to move in for on campus, I went to Norfolk State for undergrad. Um, she messed my haircut up.
Oh wow.
And this was on a Sunday. So many may know that barbershops are not open on Sundays.
Hmm.
But there happened to be one open and he got me all fixed up. But ever since then, I was kind of like, well, I actually really like this, so I'm just gonna stick with it. So it's been almost 10 years now since I've been wearing a shortcut. And there's definitely been periods of me like growing it out, wearing braids and different styles and stuff. But I enjoy having shortcut. I feel like it has definitely boosted my confidence a whole lot, especially in college. I participated in a pageant in undergrad, and that was kind of my whole thing, like changing the way that people see pageantry because no one sees a black woman with a bald head on a stage for a pageant. So, but it's just like a different way to like embrace beauty. And now I'm kind of like, oh, I'll cut it off whenever it'll grow back. It's just hair. So I'm really glad that I've like have been wearing the shortcut for so long and I haven't like I don't have that like bond with hair like a lot
Right.
of people do. It's not
Exactly.
to just cut it off. And I feel like it would be good for like a lot of women to experience that feeling of just like not having no hair. It's just like it's just a great feeling. Life is just a little bit more easy.
You know what? Society does have a way, and people can just have a preference of liking hair on their head. So society has a way of making us feeling like we need hair to be pretty. Like I need
Mhm.
to get this long Brazilian hair, and not to say anything is wrong with that. I don't want nobody to come for me or
Yeah.
whatever, but there's nothing wrong with that. But at some point, it's just like why don't you want to wear your own hair?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's some people I know that I've never seen their real hair, and that's okay that they don't want to show it, but it makes me feel like, are you insecure about it? Like, why
Yeah.
don't you want to just embrace it? You know?
Yeah. And then, I mean, even in the periods where I was wearing like my natural curls, it was honestly, for me, it was just like a lot to take care of. And it's not
It
like
is.
a head full of this luscious hair. I didn't. It was all, I always wore it short still, but it was like I have 4C hair. It's still a lot to do. Like, I don't like wash and goes. They were just too much. So I just got to a point where I was just doing twist outs, but every night I would stretch it with rubber bands so that it could give it like a little bit more length. So I kind of had like a little tapered cut going on. But it was just a lot to take care of. So I always said that if I were to grow it back out, I'm getting silk presses. I'm not doing all that. It'll be natural, but it's going to be silk pressed. Right. So for a lot of people, it's kind of just like a lot to take care of. And I will say, like, having a very low cut, you kind of still do have that versatility, especially like with wigs and stuff, because from like my freshman year through my junior year of undergrad, if I wasn't wearing a short cut, I had on a wig. And there were days where I would go to class, and one class I would have my short cut, but then the next class I got a wig on. So I like the versatility of it, and a wig for me is it's a hat. So yeah.
I'm a natural hairstylist, and I've been my mom's a hairstylist, and I'm a natural hairstylist. So I've always been drawn to natural hair when the whole natural hair community came out. It's just like, I think it was NDRE. It was like finally somewhere I belong and I fit in, or whatever. And to go back to what you were saying about the versatility and the confidence. When I had my short haircut, you couldn't tell me nothing. Like, the confidence I wore, like, I don't know what it was. I'm like you now. I'm in the in-between stage where my hair is like to right here now. And I keep it in braids. And I want to grow because I had locks for 9 years. Then I did the big chop. And I want to get my locks back because it's so hard. Even though I'm a natural hairstylist, it's so hard to take care of.
Yeah.
Like, easy maintenance. So are you in a barber shop often, or?
Yeah, so my barber right now, his name is Guided Hands on Instagram, and he does my cut and color. So
color too?
Yeah. So he's like, if you see a woman in the DMV area with a platinum cut, he probably did. There's definitely other barbers. Well, we can go ahead and call them like barber stylists. There's others in the area, but he's kind of like one of the main ones that does the platinum cuts and color. So, and I started going to him, I think last May is when I started going to him. And I recently got my hair dyed back blonde because I just can't stay away from it. So I will say, like, the upkeep of platinum hair has been a lot. And I feel like I'm still trying to learn it all, like keeping it moisturized and all of that. And I really hate the periods where it's like in between me getting a fresh cut and then my hair is growing back, because my hair grows back like super quick and I'm only getting it cut once a month. So it's a little bit annoying when it's like platinum and then the black starts growing back. I don't like it. But I'm not to the point where I know how to dye it myself yet. So I'm just going to have to go once a month for now.
And it looks gorgeous. It matches your skin tone and everything. It's just like perfect tone to your complexion.
Thank you.
Sometimes it be a little off, but it looks good. But not you, other people. But getting into the maintenance of hair care and self-care, how do you keep it all up? Because keeping platinum hair and keeping hair care, that's part of maintenance of what. Well, hair care is different from self-care. I always feel like hair care is maintenance, and self-care is taking care of your mental first.
Yeah.
So how do you juggle all that? Is it a planning? Is it a schedule? Because a lot of people don't want to do it. Like, they rather just put a wig on and put some braids in and not condition and moisturize. And so how do you do all the maintenance?
Honestly, it's kind of just spontaneous. I don't really have a schedule for it. It's mainly with having my hair platinum, I kind of just go based off of what my hair is saying. So if I see that my hair is kind of shifting to like a more like brassy yellow shade, then I'm like, okay, I whip out my Ion shampoos and conditioners, the purple shampoo and conditioner, so that I could get that color out.
Shimmer lights.
Not shimmer lights, but I have tried shimmer lights. I didn't really like it that much.
The turn of purple?
Yeah, it's the purple well, it didn't turn purple, but it almost like, I don't know, it didn't work. So I switched to using Ion's Cool Blonde and their purple shampoo and conditioner, and then they also have a weekly blonde treatment.
Okay.
So I've been using that. I'm still trying to figure out if I really like it or not. I might experiment with some other products, but that's what I'll use for like just regular hair care. But for scalp care, and you've probably seen me post about it, Balderico, they actually reached out to me last summer to pretty much be like a brand ambassador for them. So all of the scalp care that I've been using has been from them. So their scalp serum, their daily scalp butter. I have their scalp mask. I haven't used the mask yet, but I have them in my box ready to use. I'll probably do that over the weekend. But those are some things that I do for my like hair care, scalp care, like routine.
So that's the next. I want to segue into the next question about brand ambassadors. So first of all, why did you get started showcasing your daily life of self-care?
It kind of just happened. So last January, I started creating like more lifestyle blogs. My page has actually been around since maybe like 2016 or so, because initially I was just posting makeup on there. So a lot of a lot of people that follow me, they came about from me doing makeup. So different looks that I was doing, or clients I was working on when I was in undergrad, I was doing a lot of makeup for the pageants that they would have. So I would just post those pictures and all of that stuff and any tips and stuff that I had. But I think like as time progressed, I kind of just like lost interest in creating just makeup content. And I'm like, I've gotten to the point where I found all the products that work for me. And once I found the products that really work for me, it's like, okay, it just got boring. But I mean, I recently did like a sit down video doing my makeup, and I actually had fun doing that because it's been so long. So I think I'm gonna like start creating more, but just to do something a little bit different, I just started like recording different things that I was doing on a regular basis. And last year is when I really started to get into going on like solo outings and just enjoying time to myself, especially with the help of my therapist. She was helping me through all. So just kind of like, and just learning more about my area, because at the time I was living in Laurel. So whenever I would go on like solo trips and stuff, or solo outings, I would go to Baltimore and just go to different restaurants and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, so I love the Baltimore area, lots of good food. But I would just document all of that, and I just started to really, really enjoy just putting like a compilation of things that I was like doing throughout the day or doing throughout the week together. I just started finding more joy in doing that compared to just makeup content.
Yeah, and that started, you said last year, so that's kind of the time around the pandemic, right? Yeah, a lot of people start finding what their heart and joy doing I know I did. Like I started the Queen's Talk. I started my self-care product line. I started the self-motivation stuff. Like I started doing all that. Like I wanted to build women's confidence up because that's something I lacked. So I know there was other people out there that needed that. Just to be myself and embrace who I was and not be ashamed of who I was anymore. Because I know a lot of women are ashamed. So you really caught my eye when I saw you had the low haircut and the brown skin, and you were into self-care. It's just like not a lot of us do that because we suffer with low self-esteem and confidence. So I know you inspired other people. So What are some of the responses you got from, your content and things like that?
I guess people have mainly been saying like, oh, I like seeing your adventures and stuff and like the
Okay.
different things you do. And especially with me going on solo trips and just doing things by myself, like admiring that part about me. Even like from my family, admiring that part of me and just seeing like my adventurous side because I was not always like this. I used to
Yeah.
be I used to be like super, super shy. Um,
Hmm.
so when I was like maybe teenager, I
Yeah.
probably would not have done this at all. But
Really? Well, thank you
but
for coming. Right?
you're welcome. So, but yeah, just kind of like people have really just let me know that they admire like me being adventurous and like just going out there and just experiencing different things and not letting the fact that I'm doing something alone deter me from wanting to do it. And I'll say that my therapist really helped me with that because she put it into perspective. Like, for example, if I'm going to a restaurant, you might be nervous about going to a restaurant, you might feel awkward, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, everyone in there is there to eat, including you. And then like just going to maybe different events and stuff. Just realizing like if you ever get to a point where you're feeling uncomfortable, you can leave. You don't have to stay. So
Right.
those are some things that I just try to keep into the back of my mind. And there's just so much stuff out here that I can experience that
Hmm.
I like at this point I feel like I'm just really comfortable about doing things by myself. Like if I reach out to one of my friends or something and they not available, I'm going anyway.
Right.
So I was just extending the invitation, but as long as you know, I was still gonna go. So
Right.
it's been fun like learning about the different things that I like and the different things that I enjoy by myself.
That is beautiful. And to talk about doing things, I just like an hour or two ago, I want to go see the movie Creed on Friday, and I was just like, I should just go by myself because I feel like none of my friends gonna want to go see that, and I'm like, I should just go take myself on a date
Just
and
go.
just. I know, but I was just like, I don't. But now hearing you saying that, like alone, whatever, alone trips and stuff like that, and I'm like, I'm thinking about going away next month, kind of like a solo thing, kind of sorta.
Hmm.
So how does and I'm gonna talk about the therapy too, so don't let me forget that.
Okay.
How, how does like going on a solo trip, like how was the nerves or the like what is because you people crazy out here. That's what
And it's like with that, I feel like you should always be mindful of that, but don't let it get to the point where it stops you from experiencing different things. So for my birthday last year, I went to Montreal, and that was my first like international solo trip. To me, so, to some people, it might not be a lot because it's literally like 8 hour drive, but it's still a different country. So
Mhm.
going there alone, when I first got there, I wasn't uncomfortable at all. Like it honestly, the area that I was in kind of reminded me a lot of like New York and DC put together. And I love New York and I feel like super comfortable going there. Um, and then I think just experiencing things alone, just make sure that you're prepared. So like lay out all the things that you want to do. Um, if you need to make sure that you're safe, like how close are you to a police station? Where I was staying at, it was literally like right around the corner from a police station. So if anything happened, hopefully they would have helped me. um, so just prepping. So a lot of the times when I'm going on like it could be like a whole date outing or something. More than likely, I made my reservations like weeks ago. I probably looked around the
Oh,
area and stuff. So I just try to prepare ahead of time. So then that way it's not too spontaneous that when I get there, it's like overwhelming and too much. So I think just preparation will help with like experience and different things alone. So if you want to go to the movies, you can kind of make like a whole day thing out of it. So go to a movie theater that you're familiar with. You can go earlier in the day that so then that way there's like not too many people. Maybe afterwards or before you can go to a restaurant that you've been to before. So I always say just like go to places that you've been to before that you're more familiar with and that might make you more comfortable. So then when you're ready, you can go and experience things that you don't know.
I like that. I like that because I was seriously before this conversation, just about an hour ago, I was just like, I should go to the movies by myself. And now we're here, we are talking about it.
You gotta go.
Never been to the movies by myself.
So I've definitely been a few times. There has been one time that I've gone and I was uncomfortable. I didn't even make it through like 5 minutes of the movie. I had to leave. Like, I think maybe that week there was like a shooting somewhere as well.
Oh.
And that was probably the first time that I had ever felt like, am I having a panic attack right now? And I started texting my best friend, like, this is like, I'm getting like extremely overwhelmed. And I was getting to the point where I was about to cry in the theater because I was just that uncomfortable. And just like, I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was just like a combination of me like doing so much that day, because I had like a whole day of stuff that I was doing. I had got my hair done, went out to eat. I did something else after that. Then I was like, I ain't ready to go in the house yet, so let me go to the movies. And then maybe it could have been like a combination of like the sounds and stuff that was in the theater. But so that's like an instance of, if you ever get uncomfortable, just leave. Like, the movie theater will always be there. But I didn't and I talked to my therapist about that situation too. And her main thing was just making sure that that situation didn't deter me from wanting to go to the movies again. And it didn't, because literally like a few days later, I ended up going to the movies again. And I didn't have that feeling anymore. But just make sure that you're comfortable wherever you go and do anything alone.
Yeah. So this is what I want to say about the alone thing. It takes a lot for a person. How old are you?
I am. Now I had to think about it. 28.
Oh, okay, cool. So it takes a lot for a person that, well, in the society, my personal opinion about it. If you don't, do you have kids, married, or anything like that?
Nope.
Yeah. Okay. So sometimes I feel like society wants us to feel like we're missing out on something and not enjoy life. But there's still life out there that you can live. So don't stop living life and, exploring things. We might not have kids right now, a husband right now. I don't have either one myself, but we can still live and enjoy life. And that's the beautiful thing about it, is like, we don't need people. Like, we have to make ourselves happy first so we can start making. So when we do find somebody, we're not depending on them for happiness, because we can make our own. And then, because you don't want to depend on somebody for your happiness,
Right.
You got to be happy within yourself.
Yeah.
So that is really inspiring, that you can just get up and go,
Yeah. And I like the freedom of it, because like one day I was just thinking about it, like, I don't know how it's going to be when I do get into a relationship and then I have to share my time, because now I'm so used to just doing stuff by myself and just randomly being like, oh, I'm about to go out to eat today, or take myself out to eat, or do this, that, and the third. And then I have to get to the point where I have to share my time with somebody, and I have to take their opinions and suggestions and stuff into consideration. I have no clue how that's going to be. It makes me nervous, but it don't at the same time. So that's like in the back of my mind. It was just a random thought that I had. But that's something else that I'll have to navigate when it gets to that point.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just inspiring that you can you find yourself. It's like you dating yourself right now, And that's what I try to preach is like to love yourself and be happy with yourself first. And you're doing that just by being out there, like doing what makes you happy. Oh, if it's a restaurant I want to try, let me go. Like, and like you said, I was just inviting you to my date. Like, if you want to come, I'm still going to come regardless. Like, I think that's a beautiful way to build up self-confidence, is and getting to know yourself, is like spending time with yourself and doing what you want to do it. Not waiting on anybody to do it,
You got to just go and experience things that you haven't experienced before. Just get on Eventbrite, see what they got going on, find whatever it is, get the ticket and go. And I did that last summer as well. I went to a Juneteenth event in New York. And that was, I had a good time there. I went by myself. It was a little awkward at first, but people came up and we started having conversation and stuff. But you just have to, I guess, get out your comfort zone.
Yeah.
but don't do too much because it can be overwhelming. Like when you first start like going out and doing stuff by yourself.
Yeah, I got you. So you brought up therapy a few times. So tell us, can you kind of give us a story of why you started therapy and why you feel like you needed to go and how it's helped you and everything?
Yeah. So when I moved to Maryland in 19, I was like, let me get a therapist because this will be the first time that I'm kind of like navigating adulthood by
Hmm.
myself. Like I'm in a new state. Granted, I've visited Maryland and DC a million and one times before I moved up here, but it's different being a visitor and actually living here. So that was the main reason why I got a therapist. And my very first therapy session, I didn't know how it was gonna go, but I didn't think that I was gonna sing like a canary to her. But
Wow.
I did, and just like throughout all of the sessions that we've had, throughout the years and stuff, I've learned so much about myself and kind of got like a better understanding of how to like navigate life as an adult and like the different stages and themes that are present in like different areas of my life. So whether it's relationships or work or maybe and when I say relationships, friends, family, romantic relationships, whatever, there's still I have like the same themes that go on throughout all of them, and their perspective and communication. Those have been the two things that we've been focused on throughout my entire journey through therapy. Um, I've had the same therapist since I moved up here, and I actually found my therapist through therapyforblackgirls.com. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, so anybody that's ever looking for a therapist, and whenever we have a conversation, I always suggest therapyforblackgirls.com because you can go on there and look for a therapist using your zip code, your insurance, your state, city, whatever. And then each therapist has like their bio and what they focus on. So I found somebody that focused on like adulthood and just navigating that area of your life or any stressors, work stress, and things like that. So that was like a really like valuable source that I used to
They
find
are
my.
Instagram, right?
I think they do have an Instagram. They do.
Because I follow them. It's called Therapy for Black Girls.
Yeah.
I've been following them since I started the whole page.
Well, that's
I
where
didn't know it was a. I didn't know it was a. I followed them because I like the name. I didn't know it was a whole thing.
yeah, so you can go right on there. They have other therapy information, but as soon as you go on the website, I think the first thing that pops up is like if you're looking for a therapist or if you're a provider and you want to be listed on their website. But they have like hundreds of therapists listed on there. So I think that that's like a really, really good resource. Um, and a lot of therapists right now, they're offering like virtual services as well. So right now I'm seeing my therapist virtually because she doesn't live in the state of Maryland anymore, but when she was here we were going in person. But I'll say that so far my experience in therapy has definitely um, just helped me navigate my life a little bit better, especially like navigating work. And like my previous job was, it was a lot of stress in my previous job, and 2020 for me was horrible. um that's when like that was like the hardest depression I've ever felt
Because
in
that's when the pandemic started, right?
yeah. So and it's like my job, we were so for a little background, I work in regulatory affairs, and that's pretty much just dealing with FDA regulations regarding like medical devices and drug development and things like that. And pretty much just helping with the whole compliance part of the different regulations. So my job at the time, we worked on submissions for COVID. So we were doing a whole lot, like working longer hours throughout the day, or working on the weekends and stuff. And we were also like understaffed. So it was kind of just a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And it just started to take a toll on me. And it was just a mess. But that I got the most out of my therapy from like that year, because there were so many times where I would be sitting at my desk or something and I'm like boo-hoo crying.
Wow.
And matter of fact, not 2020, 2021.
Okay.
Yeah, it was 2021. And like there was a time where one of my best friends, she came over. This was for like Valentine's Day. We were playing a game and I started crying in the middle of the game. Like I was just like super depressed that year and just I just kind of wanted to sit in that negative space that I was in, because that's what made me feel comfortable at that point. But then I started like trying to get into my job search a little bit more and be a little bit more intentional with my job search, but also giving myself time to rest, because and I'm doing it now, I'm on another job search, but that whole job searching thing can be draining. So it's important to give yourself a break. You can't spend all day on.
You said being intentional with your job search, because you can't just apply. Oh, they're hiring, because you're gonna go into a job and you're gonna be miserable. So you got to be intentional with your job search. But go ahead, I like that part.
So I was just starting to, become a little bit more intentional about what it was that I was looking for. And there were definitely times where I was like getting discouraged because people were like saying no, or I wouldn't hear anything. But I ended up getting a new job or whatnot. So that, like, my depression definitely subsided. And I haven't felt like that in a long time. But just being able to afford to have a therapist, because that was like the most important thing for me, because honestly, like, I don't know what I would have done if I could not afford therapy. And there was definitely a time since I've had a therapist that there's been like breaks, because at one point they weren't taking my insurance anymore. So then I had to pay like the out-of-pocket price.
Wow.
And that was like $250. And then it went up to $100.
A session?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So, and I'm grateful that I am at a point where I could do that at least once a month. But I'm like, if this were, and this was recently, this was just in 2022 where the whole insurance thing happened. But I'm like, if this had been 2021 and my therapy sessions was this much, and I was deep down in the slums then,
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if I would have made it out. But and it just made me think about like people that really need therapy.
Exactly.
And they can't afford it.
That's the sad part. And I think that's one of my I'm want to transition from being a hairstylist into like a life coach, and like I'm a diabetic too. I want to be a diabetic educator as well, and I want to open up like a nonprofit for people who can't afford insurance or life coaching or diabetic sessions or anything like that. I want to just open that up and make it nonprofits for like Black girls like you and I. Like, I think it's amazing that the Black girls have a whole, is it an app?
I don't know if they have an app, but it's a website. They probably do at this point.
Yeah. I think that this is truly amazing how, like, because most times we want to talk to people who look like us.
Mm-hmm.
We want to talk to somebody who can relate to what we're going through, like a situation. Because sometimes things on social media be bothering us, like, and people that's not on social media, they're not gonna understand it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's cool to talk to somebody who, understands what you coming from, how you feeling in this generation or age or whatever. I just think that social media has just changed my life and the things that's on it. Because like you finding a therapist on it, I'm finding out how to do XYZ. I go to YouTube University to learn a lot of stuff.
Okay.
How to better my self-esteem, how to do self-care, I'm watching somebody TikTok. I just think that for me, it's opened my doors into just to not just focus on the things that's around in this area
Uh-huh.
or in my circle of my friends and my circle of people or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
There's more to life. And when I started the self-love community, I wanted to meet women who were like me and had a similar story as mine so we can connect and share and grow and empower us together. So I just think that is beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah. So get into your self-care routine, and then we're gonna kind of set because 35 minutes now. Your self-care routine that you post and you do on a daily to keep your self-esteem up and your confidence up. What do you do?
I would say like my biggest thing in my self-care routine is my skincare.
Oh,
I've been, well, some people, because I know like you mentioned hair care is kind of maintenance. Some people will probably, well, I guess you can look at skincare as maintenance too. If you're going to like the esthetician and stuff, I would say that's maintenance. But you still got to do the work at home. It's just like therapy. Like you can go to a therapist, but you still got to do the work yourself.
yeah,
So for me, self-care is my skincare. Like I've be putting so much work into my skincare, and I literally just put some on my story last night about my skincare because I am just extremely proud of how far my skin has come, especially how it was before, like once I moved here. It was horrible. Like I've never really struggled with acne, but I get hyperpigmentation. So if I'm messing with anything on my face, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get a dark spot. I can't avoid it. So last year, I started going to an esthetician. Why is her name leaving my head? Oh, her name on Instagram is Beneath the Skin, and she's in Ellicott City, Maryland. She's a Black esthetician. I found her on Instagram, and so far I've gotten I've learned more about like using retinol for your skin, like glycolic acids and different acids and stuff to use for your skin, a proper skincare routine, getting different treatments and stuff. So I've had like a few chemical peels, hydro glow facials. This month I'm getting my first micro needling treatment, which I'm really excited for. Yeah, I'm really excited for that. And I'm mainly excited just to go back to my esthetician because I haven't been in months. So I want her to see this progress that I made. Yeah. Because I've really been trying to target like my cheek areas have the most hyperpigmentation. And I wish I've been taking pictures like every day or like every week or something so that I could visually see the progress just from a picture, but I can see it when I'm looking in the mirror and when I'm recording videos and stuff. But that's like my main hyperpigmentation, my main self-care. So right now, skincare wise, I'm using the brands Caudalie, Innisfree, and Paula's Choice. So Caudalie, I'm using their Vena Perfect serum, their Vena Perfect daytime moisturizer, the nighttime moisturizer. Innisfree, I'm using their SPF. So if you have hyperpigmentation, SPF is very, very important because you don't want to be putting all this work into your skincare and then you're going outside raw dog in the sun. your hyperpigmentation is just going to get darker. So you have to wear sunscreen.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about, like how Black people feel like they don't need to wear sunscreen, but we need to wear sunscreen, sis.
Put it out. Paula's Choice, I'm using their BHA, which also has salicylic acid in there. So if I do have any breakouts, that's going to help with that and evening out my skin tone. And I'm using Algenist Triple Algae Eye Renewal Balm. So that's my eye cream. So yeah, that's my main source of self-care. And then for me, I would say like another source of self-care for me is just getting up and getting ice cream.
Really?
So I love ice cream, and I feel like social media, I feel like it skews what self-care looks like for a lot of people. You don't have to have like a whole lot of money to be able to do self-care. It looks different for everyone. And I feel like some people relate self-care to like that soft girl aesthetic that people are having, but that going into that type of aesthetic, you need money for that.
Yeah.
I think what it was originally for was not what it is now. Mm-hmm. So I think people have to be careful about what they see on social media as far as self-care goes too, and just frame out what self-care is for you.
Yeah. And I was just my last live I did last month, I was telling this girl that self-care is an umbrella of a list of things. Mm-hmm. Self-care is taking care of your mental health. Self-care is setting boundaries. Self-care is making time for self-care, doing the things that you like to enjoy. Self-care is loving yourself, embracing who you are. If you like putting on makeup, put on makeup. If you want to do a long date, do a long date. Self-care is a lot. Mm-hmm. So it's just what you make it. I personally feel like getting my hair done is work. That is work. Like I'm a hairstylist and I hate I be wanting other people to do it because I don't like my hair up all the it was stressing me to think about it.
Other people doing it, that's self-care. You don't have to do anything. You
exactly. Exactly. But to go back to the skin thing, so my face stopped. It'd be crazy how we having kind of a lot into some things. My face stopped breaking out this Sunday. So last night I called Av Kaiser. I did like a video phone call with my doctor or whatever because I have the pigmentation problem too as well. Uh-huh. So they put me on steroids, and I'm like, why am I on steroids? Like my face breaking out because I don't know. I started using a new laundry detergent.
Okay.
And now I guess I'm allergic to the fragrance in there.
Uh-huh.
I got off a different one, but like my face starts peeling and scaling off or whatever. So this morning I took my first dose of steroids or whatever. I took a Benadryl last night or whatever. But this week, and then last year I was taking the bomb care of my skin. Like I had we have a family friend. She's not an esthetician. She does natural skincare products.
Okay.
My face was glowing. My dark circles under my eyes was gone. Everything was gone. And I just like, oh, well, I just kind of put it on the back burner. But I noticed when you stop taking care of self-care, it shows up. Like people can like, I've gained my weight back. My skin is breaking out again. But you got to be consistent in it and make it a part of your life and your daily routine.
Yeah. And I feel like with my skin, because there's definitely days where I'm like super lazy when it comes to my skincare. So I don't want nobody to think that every single day I'm doing this, that, and the third. Like, no, there's days where I definitely fall off. But I will say that skincare has helped me become more consistent because I see the progress that I'm making with it. So I know, like, if you want to keep making this progress, you have to keep doing it. Yeah. So it's like a lesson that you can learn in everything.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna close up this conversation. You are a brand ambassador, so brands reach out to you and they pay you, right?
So I have not received like payment for like monetary payment for brands that I have been ambassadors for. So far it's been content for products, which I've been fine with doing so far. One of the brands that I was an ambassador for, I keep forgetting the names and stuff. It's like, but I was getting makeup products for content, and the brand that I'm doing now is Baldair Co. So they send me products, and then I create either a photo and a video for them. So, and that's fine with me because they're products that I actually use. And they're going to help my scalp, especially with having a shortcut. And like after I leave the barbershop, my scalp can be a little bit irritated from like the clippers and stuff. So the products are very helpful. So at some point, I wouldn't mind doing the content for money, but I think right now that's not my top priority. Honestly, for me right now, social media is not my top priority. Like, I feel like for me, my career is my top priority, and like doing the pivot that I'm working on right now, that's like the main thing that has my focus. And second is like me time. Third would be content, or maybe fourth or fifth.
Right.
Yeah. So and that's why I say I just like when it comes to content, I create it whenever I kind of just feel like creating it. I enjoy doing it, but if I ever feel like I'm being forced to or just forcing myself to do something that I'm not gonna want to do it.
Right, I feel you.
And I feel like I've made that known on my page before. Like, if there's something that I don't want to do, I'm not gonna do it. Right. I don't care how much money it's for, or if it's for nothing. I'm not gonna do it.
I feel you. Well, thank you. Also, because I was gonna say, how can everybody find you? What's your IG name and your TikTok name and everything like that?
Let me pull it up so I don't get it wrong. My TikTok, they're both the same. Okay, I wanted to make sure I got the underscore part right. My TikTok is at INDOE_, and my Instagram is INDOE_.
Okay, well, thank you. And I am Leslie from Brown Girls Embrace _LLC. Thank you, Endo.
Yeah, you told me.
Endo. Thank you so much for joining us tonight and inspiring us with your short haircut and your routine. And the whole alone thing was inspiring me because I was just thinking about doing my alone thing, and that's going to help you to just be okay with being by yourself. Like,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah. So I really appreciate this time. This was a good talk. It was very much needed talk. A time for me to relax throughout the week. So I appreciate it, and I would definitely be open to doing it again.
Yes, thank you. All righty. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Bye.